For months, an uneasy feeling gnawed at the edges of my mind, a sinking suspicion that something wasn't right with Natalie. We had been together for 4 years, but lately, she wasn't the same woman I had fallen for. She guarded her phone like it held state secrets, stayed out late with her coworkers, and had grown emotionally distant. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly between us became strained, filled with half-hearted excuses and hollow reassurances. Then last night, while she was in the shower, I finally gave in to the nagging doubt. I knew it wasn't right, that it was a betrayal of trust in its own way, but I needed the truth. What I found shattered me. Dozens of explicit messages between her and a man named Chris from her office. Pictures, plans to meet in hotels. Inside jokes at my expense, mocking how clueless I was. She had been cheating for months. When she emerged from the bathroom, I confronted her, expecting guilt, maybe tears, an apology, or even regret. Instead, she just stared at me with an almost bored expression inside. I was actually going to talk to you about this anyway. What followed was a speech so casually cruel, it left me momentarily speechless. She suggested that we should try an open relationship, as if she were doing me a favor. She claimed monogamy felt confining, that this affair had been a revelation about what she truly needed. When I asked how long it had been going on, she simply shrugged. Does it really matter? Everyone explores their options sometimes. Then, with a smirk that twisted the knife deeper, she delivered the final blow. You're just too predictable, too safe. I need more adventure. But this could actually make us stronger. You should embrace the freedom, too. In that moment, something inside me shifted. The heartbreak, the rage, the humiliation. I swallowed it all and forced myself to stay calm. I nodded slowly and met her gaze with an unreadable expression. You know what? You're right. Let's do this open relationship thing. The look on her face was priceless. She had expected a fight, begging, maybe even a dramatic breakup. But my agreement? That was not in her script. And just like that, I took back control. For the next 3 weeks, Natalie basked in what she believed was her newfound freedom. Chris became a regular presence at our apartment, and she openly entertained the attention of at least 2 other men. She spoke as if we were some enlightened, progressive couple, congratulated herself on broadening my horizons. But what she didn't realize was that I was making my own moves. I threw myself into self-improvement, hitting the gym daily, pouring my emotions into something productive instead of letting them consume me. I started therapy, seeking clarity and healing. I reconnected with old friends, the same ones Natalie had subtly pushed out of my life over the years. And most importantly, I began searching for my own apartment. She didn't know it yet, but the moment I found a place, I was gone. Then, unexpectedly, I received a message from Lauren, Natalie's older sister. Apparently, Natalie had proudly told her family about how she had opened my mind to non-monogamy. Lauren, disgusted, reached out to check on me. We met for coffee, and for the first time in months, I found myself speaking freely, laying out everything. Her infidelity, her manipulation, the humiliation I had been choking down. Lauren was furious. She told me Natalie had always been selfish, even as a child, but this was a new low. Our conversation stretched longer than expected, and from that moment on, we kept in touch. She was going through her own struggles, a rough divorce that had left her feeling adrift, and we found comfort in each other's company. Late-night talks, dinners, movies, it was effortless. She listened. She cared. Then came the night that changed everything. Natalie invited me to a party with her coworkers, including Chris. I nearly declined, but then I thought, why not? I went, carrying myself with confidence, laughing with everyone, even chatting with Chris like we were old friends. I could feel Natalie's irritation growing as the night wore on. She had expected jealousy, desperation, anything but composure. Later, when she was drunk, she cornered me, her breath laced with alcohol, her expression clouded with confusion and frustration. "Why aren't you jealous?" she demanded. I simply smiled and said, "This was your idea, remember? I'm just embracing the freedom." Then I told her I wouldn't be staying over that night because I had plans. I didn't elaborate, but the truth, it was just breakfast with Lauren. Natalie didn't need to know that. The shock on her face was almost worth all the pain she had put me through. 2 months later, everything had changed. I had moved out 6 weeks ago, not telling Natalie until the day before. I kept it simple, just calmly explaining that I had found my own place. That was when the tears finally came. "I thought we were still together," she wailed, the irony of her words almost suffocating. She demanded to know if I was seeing someone else. I shrugged, my voice casual. "The open relationship has been working great for me, too, just not in the way you expected." Since then, her messages have been relentless, swinging between anger and desperation. She never expected me to move on before she was done having her fun. And as for Lauren, we tried to resist it. We knew how complicated it could be. But after one long night of talking about our past, our regrets, our dreams, we kissed. It wasn't planned. It wasn't calculated. It just felt right. Now, we see each other almost every day. She is everything Natalie wasn't: genuine, caring, honest. With her, I feel like myself again. We kept our relationship quiet at first, not out of shame, but to avoid unnecessary drama. But the truth had a way of surfacing. That moment came at their parents' 35th anniversary party. We had debated whether I should even go, but in the end, we chose to confront things head-on. We arrived separately, though close enough together that Natalie immediately noticed. Something in the way Lauren and I looked at each other must have given it away. Already half drunk, she stormed over, unleashing a furious tirade, calling me a backstabbing piece of trash and Lauren a jealous opportunist who had always wanted what she had. The room fell into an awkward silence as her parents, extended family, and friends watched in stunned disbelief. Lauren, remarkably composed, let her rant until she ran out of steam. Then, in a calm, unwavering voice, she said loudly enough for everyone to hear, "You cheated on Tyler for months. Then, when he caught you, you demanded an open relationship. You don't get to play the victim now." The look on Natalie's face was unforgettable. She had never expected Lauren to know the full truth. As she scanned the room, seeing judgment in everyone's eyes, she turned and stormed out. Afterward, we explained everything to her parents: the cheating, the manipulation, how Lauren and I had reconnected. To our surprise, they were understanding. Her father even patted my shoulder and said, "We always thought you were too good for Natalie anyway." Since then, Natalie has been on a warpath, trying to turn mutual friends against us, spreading rumors, even showing up drunk at my new apartment. When I refused to let her in, she threatened to ruin me. I recorded the entire incident, just in case. Through it all, Lauren has been my rock. When I asked if she regretted getting involved with me, she simply smiled and said, "The only thing I regret is not telling you years ago what an idiot my sister was." Our journey was messy, relationships ending, new feelings developing, family drama exploding. But for the first time in years, I'm with someone who truly values me. Ironically, if Natalie hadn't cheated, hadn't pushed for an open relationship, I never would have found Lauren. She unknowingly gave me the greatest gift of all. For months, an uneasy feeling gnawed at the edges of my mind. Something wasn't right with Natalie, my girlfriend of 4 years. She had become secretive, clutching her phone as if it held the keys to the universe, and staying out late with her coworkers, offering vague explanations that never quite added up. The emotional distance between us had grown, an invisible but undeniable chasm. Then, one evening, while she was in the shower, my suspicions got the better of me. I knew it was wrong, an invasion of privacy, but I needed the truth. What I found shattered me. Dozens of explicit messages between her and a man named Chris from her office, plans for secret rendezvous at hotels. Inside jokes about me, how clueless I was, how easy it had been to deceive me. It wasn't a mistake or a moment of weakness. She had been cheating for months. When she emerged from the bathroom, I confronted her, heart pounding, expecting tears, regret, maybe even apology. Instead, she barely reacted. With an air of detachment, she said, "I was actually going to talk to you about this anyway." Then, as if she were granting me some great gift, she suggested we try an open relationship. She claimed monogamy felt suffocating, that this experience had been an awakening. When I asked how long it had been going on, she merely shrugged. Does it really matter? Everyone explores their options sometimes. And then came the final blow. Her cold assessment of me. I was predictable. Too safe. She needed adventure. But she assured me this could make us stronger. You should embrace the freedom, too. Something inside me shifted in that moment. Instead of anger or heartbreak, a strange calm settled over me. I nodded and said, "You know what? You're right. Let's do this open relationship thing." The look on her face was priceless. She had expected a meltdown, a desperate plea for her to stay. She had not anticipated my agreement. And just like that, I reclaimed my power. For the next 3 weeks, Natalie fully indulged in her newfound freedom. Chris visited our apartment regularly. She openly dated other men, parading them around as if we were some enlightened, progressive couple. She acted as if she had unlocked some higher-level love, oblivious to the quiet moves I was making. I threw myself into therapy and hit the gym daily, channeling my anger into something productive. I reconnected with old friends, people she had subtly pushed out of my life over the years. And most importantly, I began searching for my own apartment. I didn't tell her. Not yet. Then, something unexpected happened. Natalie's older sister, Lauren, reached out. Natalie had apparently boasted to her family about how she had opened my mind to non-monogamy. But instead of being impressed, Lauren was disgusted. She called to check on me, and for the first time in months, I had an honest conversation. I told her everything, how betrayed and humiliated I felt. Lauren was furious. "She's always been selfish," she admitted. "But this is a new low." After that, we started spending more time together. She was going through a painful divorce, and we found comfort in each other's company. Late-night talks, dinners, movies, it felt effortless. She listened, she cared, and for the first time in a long while, I felt seen. Then came the night that changed everything. Natalie invited me to a party with her co-workers, including Chris. I almost declined. Almost. But then I thought, why not? I went, played the part, laughed with everyone, even exchanged pleasantries with Chris. I could see Natalie watching me, her irritation growing as the night went on. Then, drunk and frustrated, she cornered me. "Why aren't you jealous?" she demanded. I smiled. "This was your idea, remember? I'm just embracing the freedom." Then I told her I had plans the next morning and wouldn't be staying over. She expected me to be waiting at home while she enjoyed her adventure. Instead, I was leaving her behind. She didn't need to know my plans were just breakfast with Lauren. A part of me still clung to the ghost of the woman I once loved. But every time doubt crept in, I remembered the way she had dismissed our years together so effortlessly. And just like that, the last remnants of love I had for her dissolved. 2 months later, everything had changed. I had moved out, breaking the news to her only the day before. That's when the tears finally came. "I thought we were still together," she wailed, the irony suffocating. She demanded to know if I was seeing someone else. I simply shrugged. The open relationship has been working great for me too, just not in the way you expected. Since then, she has flooded my phone with messages, swinging between rage and desperation. It's clear now, she never expected me to move on before she was done having fun. But I had. And then there was Lauren. We tried to resist it, knowing how complicated it could get. But one night, after hours of talking about our past, our regrets, our dreams, we kissed. It wasn't planned. It wasn't calculated. It just felt right. We kept it quiet at first, not out of shame, but to avoid the inevitable storm. But the storm came anyway. It arrived at her parents' 35th anniversary party. We arrived separately, but Natalie saw us. Something in the way we looked at each other must have given it away. Already half drunk, she stormed over and unleashed a tirade. Accusations, insults. She painted herself as a victim. Lauren, calm and composed, let her rant until she ran out of steam. Then, in a voice loud enough for the entire room to hear, she said, "You cheated on Tyler for months, then demanded an open relationship when he caught you. You don't get to play the victim now." Silence fell. Natalie's face drained of color. She scanned the room, seeing only judgment in the eyes around her. Then, humiliated, she stormed out. In the days that followed, she waged a war of rumors, trying to turn mutual friends against us, even showing up drunk at my apartment one night, screaming threats. I recorded everything, just in case. Through it all, Lauren remained my anchor. When I asked if she regretted getting involved, she simply smiled and said, "The only thing I regret is not telling you years ago what an idiot my sister was. It wasn't the life I had planned. It was messy, unexpected, but for the first time in years, I was with someone who truly valued me." Ironically, if Natalie hadn't cheated, I never would have found this happiness. A year later, everything has fallen into place. Lauren and I moved in together 4 months ago. We took our time, making sure it felt right. It did. Living with someone who respects me, who listens, who doesn't see love as a game. It's an entirely new world. Natalie, from what I've heard, moved to another city. She's dating someone new. I hope she's learned something. But honestly, I'm just relieved she's moved on. Lauren's family, though initially shocked, have embraced us completely. Her mother told me over Christmas, "I haven't seen Lauren this happy in years." Even distant relatives who once kept their distance have come around. The biggest change, though, has been within me. With Lauren's encouragement, I finally started a photography business I had always dreamed of but never pursued because Natalie thought it was a waste of time. 3 months ago, it became successful enough for me to quit my corporate job. Now, we're planning a trip to Japan, something I've wanted to do for years. We've even started discussing marriage, kids, not rushing, just dreaming. A year ago, I was devastated, questioning my worth. Now, I wake up next to someone who makes me feel valued every single day. Sometimes, the worst moments of your life lead you exactly where you were always meant to be.